Good morning everyone, and welcome to the Barossa Go-Kart Club for what is essentially the 4SS version of the state championships. We don't race at the state titles in Bolivar in a couple of weeks, so this is our state cup and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm entered in the medium weight category, which I'm, to be honest, closer to the upper end of. And I might do something rather rash, and in addition to that, race also in lightweights and be massively overweight, but just for the extra track time. And I mean, as you can see from some of the curves and the bumps which we're required to ride to get a decent lap time, this track can be brutal. So to do two categories, it's going to be close to 180, 200 laps today. I may come to regret this. Just entered the additional class. What am I thinking? I got a couple of bottles of wine. One I've said I'm going to give to anyone who can win 2 orange plates. It's 2 titles. And I've got a spare one. That's for me. It's for pain relief after today. So just finished practice. Yeah, not terrible. On our session on new tyres, we were just scrubbing in, managed to get down to 27.4, and that actually put us 6th in the medium category. And I didn't do the second practice session for lights because I'm obviously getting enough practice as it is because we're running 2 categories. But that really does place us quite amongst it. So I think the main thing is just trying to be consistent and trying to not get too fatigued. It's going to be such a long day. Yeah, encouraging start. Right, so it's a few hours later, and we've gone through the heats of both races that we've entered, and now we're just waiting for the finals. I'm actually going to put the camera on the kart for these. You can hear in the background the commentator talking about some of the junior categories and cadet categories. So hopefully you can hear me. But look, we've done okay. The lap times haven't dropped off, despite absolutely giving ourselves a flogging today. But yeah, keep the fluids up. It's been pretty good. So yeah, we're just going to get out there and do a couple of longer finals, and maybe I'll talk about them as we do them. So we're just coming up to the start of my first race, which is the 4SS Senior Light. Ahead of me is number 51 Simon Reichel. Going to the sweeper now for the start. Number 26 is Lee Harrison. Ahead of him, Cody Harrison. Up the front, we've got Jackson King, Anthony Ormsby and Wesley Bowden. And lights out. First corners are always a little bit interesting. There's normally a little bit of wheel banging. There is a little bit of wheel banging, but it's reasonably tidy for a final in the lights. And trying to have a look up the inside there behind me was number 43 Michael Berrier, but I haven't let him through. I'm got my eyes firmly on this group in front, hoping I can keep it nice and neat and tidy for a while, and maybe just have the opportunity to stick with them as long as possible. But they're already looking a little bit too greasy for me, but we'll see what we can do. First few laps, a little bit of a weakness, cold tyres. I am getting better at it, and I thought this was a really good opportunity to have some nice clear laps and see what we could do during this final, 20-lap final. And I'm really getting the impression here that although the leaders are going to disappear, it's likely that Simon Reichel is not. And whether it's my tyre pressure, which I just changed a bit, sun's starting to go down, it's a bit darker, a bit cooler. Getting the right pressures is quite important. And there's a few corners here where my car, now up to temperature, is performing quite well. This is one of them. And the next sequence as well on the right, even though I'm a bit wide there, it's reasonably solid. And it didn't escape me that this was an opportunity to stick with Simon over the race. and see how we can do. He's a very good driver, so it's a good opportunity just to learn something from other people. And this is several laps later. We're still with Simon. The others have disappeared out in front, but you can still see them on the straight if you look carefully. These are some of the corners you ride. And again, my left-hander there, which I'm quite happy with, and this right-hander here we seem to be closing up in. Not sure about the sweeper. I got better at it throughout the day, but it's not been one of my greatest strengths. But I don't think we lost anything on that lap there. Then ride the curves, ride the curves, ride the curves again, and yeah, that was quite neat and tidy. And again, right-hander that I'm quite happy with this one today. It's working quite well for me. So coming onto the straight again, seeing if you can learn something watching his line going into the sweeper. And this time we're a bit closer. I think we might have a little bit of a look there. Not sending it up the inside or anything like that. We're just having a little bit of a look. You find sometimes with some drivers who perhaps have a little bit less experience, that rattles them a little bit because they look behind them a lot. They know what you're doing. When they see that, they sometimes make mistakes and go a little bit wide, and then there's your opportunity. But Simon is way too experienced. He drives Speedway. He's very good in karts. He's got a really interesting story as well behind some of his own challenges he's come across, and he shows a lot of us are putting their heels in karting and in hire karts. But today I've got the opportunity just to stick behind him and watch what he's doing for a while. If an opportunity comes, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to just keep it nice and tidy. We've got another 20 lap final to go, and that's the one where all the wheel banging is going to come in, no doubt about it. Just coming up, I think, pretty close to the finish now. And I'm actually quite happy that I'm not really tired. After all the laps I've done, I'm feeling reasonably good, feeling like I've got a lot more to give in the other final. I'm just going to come around now for what I believe is going to be the checkered flag. There it is. Yeah. Considering that the lights is not my event, I'm quite happy with that. And now I've got some good data to look at after the race meeting to compare when I'm in the clear, which I'm certainly not going to be in the next one. It's going to be a lot of hustle and bustle. Winner of that race was Anthony Ormsby, Jackson King second, Wesley Bowden third, Cody Harrison was fourth, and Lee Harrison fifth, and then us. So yeah, just enjoy that little chase, and off to the next race, which is the 4SS Senior Medium Weight. And I've talked a lot about this spinning on cold tyres in other videos on the warm-up laps, and there's one. It's very easy to do, and there's another. I think that was number 35, Daniel Virgo. So remember that name, he's going to come back into this. So approaching the sweeper and coming up for the start, ahead of me number 34 is Nick Tarquetti, to the left of him 52 Mark Sanford. Round we go, and it's lights out. Should be a fairly interesting first couple of corners, because there's quite a few karts battling for this final. And who's going to get pushed off the track? Well, it's me this time, ladies and gentlemen. That might have been Chris LaRocca up the inside, also Daniel Virgo being very opportunistic, number 35. And he goes for a move on Chris LaRocca. I try and follow him through, doesn't quite come out. And wouldn't you know it, I lose another position, number 62, Craig Kennett. So not a particularly productive series of corners for yours truly. And I do apologise for the quality of the picture. It's a bit darker. There's a little bit of moisture on the camera lens. I didn't have an opportunity to clear it off for between the races. Number 35 going off the track there, and I'm just trying to have another opportunity perhaps to look for a gap. Perhaps it will be when he tries to work his way through again. He does, number 62, but there's no room for me. If I'd have tried it there, I got my nose well and truly bitten off. So I need to settle down, do some solid lap times, and then take the opportunity when it comes. It's quite hard to pass at Barossa, but there are opportunities. You've just got to be really quite patient. And here we are a bit closer, up the back of number 62, Craig Kennett. There's a little mistake, loses a little bit of momentum, and through I go. So that's the first one. Ahead of me is Chris LaRocca, and I think he is now right on the back of him. This is a few laps later, Nick Tarquetti. Nick having a few mechanical problems, I think. He's normally a lot further ahead than this, but nevertheless, Chris is looking for a way past, and I think what's going to happen is Nick's going to just let him pass, trying to work out what mechanical issues he has. Through he goes, and I see this happening, and I just look for a clean move as well, and Nick knows I'm there and he lets me through, and I just give him a little wave of thanks, a bit of a courtesy, and I'm onto the back again of Chris LaRocca. So there's no one else in front of Chris now. I've got to do this on merit, got to find a way through, and a nice clean way through hopefully. But where's it going to be? Because by this stage in the meet he's actually driving pretty well from the Scuderia Ferrari Club. He's doing some good lap times, and there's not really a lot in it, so there's a series of corners that I'm not too bad, and I'm just looking for the opportunity where he just hesitates for a moment. What do you think it's going to be? I think I've worked it out at this point, and I just need to be a little bit patient, a little bit closer, and then go for it. Maybe the next lap. But I've got to be closer on the straight, so that was reasonable. And ride the curves in the next series of corner. Nice and tidy. He's doing a reasonably good job of it as well. I'm a little bit closer, thinking this might be the opportunity. And he just loses a little bit of momentum out of this, and bang. Up we go, up the inside. So clean air now, ladies and gentlemen. So a few laps later, getting towards the end of the race, and what's going to happen here? Well, Christmas dinner up ahead of me. I'm thinking that could be Daniel Virgo, number 35. He's gone off for some reason. I don't know if he got involved in a scrap with another driver. But this is the last lap. We're coming for the checker, and I'm wondering if there's an opportunity. There's a lot of bit of aero there, and he just gets the checker ahead of me. So it was nearly another position we got back right at the end. Not sure what scrap he got involved in. The results for this race were Lee Harrison, another orange plate. Sam Mertenen was second. Lee Chesson third. Then Mark Sanford, Trevor King, Daniel Virgo, myself, Chris LaRocca. So, hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly did. Well, we're done. We're all packed away now. As you can see, it's dark. And that was actually, I reckon, our best meet we've had so far in terms of performance. No, we didn't come away from any hardware. Yes, there was a couple of times we got caught up in the pack, but once we were in clear air, we were actually doing some pretty good lap times. And then there was the added challenge of running two classes in a meet like this, which is 4SS, so it's closely run closely together, and we just never stopped driving really. And I'm standing here after, I don't know, 180, 200 laps, whatever it was, and I'm feeling actually reasonably good. So yeah, massively more optimistic, and I think this might be our strategy, that we lose a bit of weight, go down the bottom of medium, rather than putting the weight on and going up to heavy, and then run at that minimum weight hopefully that I can get to, and running light as well, just for practice, just for laps, just for endurance. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.